Screw it. Who needs a countdown? Let's go live. How's it going, guys? Already got several people in chat. Love to see that, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. Appreciate everybody. First off, Dee, absolutely love seeing that crystal next to your name. Love it, guys. If you guys aren't aware, the membership program is live. And we have announced the first contest already. DS, nice to see you in chat. Hope you're doing well, my brother. I hope you're starting to recover, getting some things going. Amon, going for that first. Just missing it by about a couple seconds, looks like, though. Absolutely love seeing it. I wanted to hang out a little bit today, guys. We ain't got a lot of time, only about an hour or so. But, you know, the thing about it is there's several things going on in game right now, several things that I wanted to talk about. And on top of that, we ain't been doing enough with the little account lately. So I thought we'd jump in here, take a look, see how things are going. One thing I did notice. So, I just got an in-game email here. Yes, operation tomorrow, going to fit rods in my foot. Good luck on that, man. Just get feeling better. Don't worry about the channel or anything like that. We absolutely are sending you good vibes here. So hopefully you get feeling better quickly, man. So I already have talked about a few times that I'm not too excited about the idea that we only get one champion rework and one new champion this month. But then they turn around and put out this email talking about, hey guys, why don't you spend a bunch of units to level up a champ that you never thought would be worth leveling up before? This doesn't make it better. So, real quick here, I want to catch up on a couple things on chat. Amon talking about doing grind for Vox, gave up midway last arena. Decided to like my weekends better than the grind. I can feel that sometimes. I'd love to grind for champions, but I just don't have that many that much of my life available to do that for. Dee says the same, and on top of that, ain't got no time to grind because Dee doing a 12-hour stream today. Brother, so much excitement. Drop that link in the description so that we can make sure that everybody gets a chance to support that 12-hour live stream. You know, we all know that we may not all have 12 hours to hang out, but at the same time, let's support the man. Any chance you get throughout the day to jump in and hang out with him and support him and keep that chat going, absolutely want to do so. Let's see. Chat's just blowing up here, guys. JJ, nice to see you. AB, nice to see you as well. Wolf is too busy working out, doing MMA, training, and giving back for arena grind. Hey, I get it, man. I'm so glad to hear that you're doing your training, that you're working out, getting things going. So proud of you, AB. 100% so. We are here for a good time, not a long time. So have a good time. The sun don't shine every day. Hey, but just remember, like the crow said, it can't rain all the time. So we gotta enjoy that. Inside joke, DSDW, I'm good. Again, thank you, JJ, for stopping in. Absolutely appreciate seeing you. Just checking, make sure I'm getting everybody's comments here. The sun shines out my ass. Love you, Dee. Absolutely. So, like I said, a few things. First off, because of the fact that we've been so busy this month with so many things, we haven't done as many crystals on the backup account here. Did do a back video. Language, Dee. Yo, JJ is stepping in there to play the pixie role. Absolutely love it. So we got a 4-star Nexus here, always looking to add to the roster. As a matter of fact, that's part of what we're going to do today. Didi, check out this crystal, man. This is some little account stuff for you right here. Now, Black Widow, Clairvoyant, Mantis, 2 absolutely gorgeous champions that I know you would love to add to your roster. And then we got Colossus, who is a very viable option for mine. So, yeah, I know you do, man. We are excited to get back to that as soon as possible. Get that Colossus and troll.
I just can't stop playing Mario. It's
Apparently, the neighbors want to play with my Bluetooth, so, you know, apologize for that. Man, I hate to say it, but I think I am going to go ahead and take Colossus. Not because it trolls Didi, but because of the synergy for Kitty. And we definitely need to keep that synergy going. So, Denzo, how's it going? Drop it in for a bit. How you been? Not too bad, man. We had a great live stream last night. By the way, anybody who hasn't checked that out, make sure you jump over. I'm going to have a crystal opening video out today. That is going to be huge. Now, mind you, there should be some 7 stars in that crystal opening. There's not. Why is there not? Well, first off, because we opened the 7-star selector on live stream last night like we had planned. But, secondly, because chat, inspired by Didi, decided that we should open the 7-star on stream last night. Not a troll. Yeah, man. And so we opened the 7-star selector and our new 7-star on the new account last night. Wow, we seeing females all over the place. I think this is a sign that Didi is extremely missing the new account. And this is how I get copyright striked. Sorry, guys. Love Bluetooth up until everybody else thinks they're connecting to it. So a couple new 4-stars there. But the big thing that I've been looking forward to here, we got a couple Cav crystals. Ooh, another 4-star Nexus. Nice. Gonna have to check that out a little bit. Still proud of you, Denzo. He installed Dementia. He is insane. Took 600K off. Star-Lord in the rotation. Nice. Love Star-Lord, honestly. I know not everybody gets as hyped about him as they used to. You know, Aegon pushed him down, and then everybody else just kind of pushed him out. DJ Digby. Yeah. Man, first off, DJ, I want to apologize. Last night, I had a brain fart and then some, and I just could not think of your name for nothing. But here is the shout out to make up for it. The thumbnail that is being used for this particular live stream was designed for me by DJ Digby. And I absolutely want to say thank you for all the thumbnails you put together for me. They are absolutely gorgeous, and I love being able to use them for these live streams. So, first off, I apologize absolutely for forgetting. But on the same time, I just want to shout you out, man, because I appreciate what you did for the channel here. Thank you so much, and I know you say you don't need the shout out, but Nimrod, ooh, that's going to be huge. That is a new 5-star right there, guys. Absolutely happy to have him on the roster. Roster is just looking sweet as can be. Let's go ahead and jump over here. We got get these new profile pics out of the way. Not that they matter that much, but let's go look. 7 new champions already on the account today. Nimrod there. We got some new 4-stars in there, a couple new 3-stars. But we ain't done because we need some more champions. Why? Because we got to dupe these so we can get more shards. Jason Rushing, thank you for stopping in, man. Appreciate it. Guys, we already got 11 people in chat. 2 likes. Absolutely love it. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, Dee, that Nimrod's going to be gorgeous for this account. But the other thing that I was looking at too here, so just an update, guys. We are slowly pushing our way through 100%ing Act 4 right now so that we can move on and finish up Act 5 on this account. Just getting the last bit of that knocked out. Been doing that over the last couple of days. But the other thing that I was thinking here is, you know what? The best way to be able to dupe some champions is to have all the champions. Just like the stream. Thank you, Denzo. Appreciate that, man. Up to 4 already. Just crushing that like button. I appreciate it, guys. So I thought, you know what? Let's go get us a 3-star Vox. Ain't no reason to spend on crystals because we don't spend on this account. Ain't no reason to spend units because we can use those for other things like masteries and energy refills. On the other hand, we can grind a couple milestones. Jay Flames, nice to see you in, man. Absolutely appreciate you stopping in for a little bit today. Just thought we'd go ahead and see if we couldn't hit a couple milestones on this arena here. Get us a few more units so that we can progress. Also on top of that, see if we can't go ahead and add that 3-star Vox to the brand new account here. You know, I know 3 stars aren't overwhelmingly exciting for everybody, but first off, the oldest motto in this game is, do you want more 4 stars? Get more 3 stars. You want more 5 stars? Get more 4 stars. So, we need more 3 stars. Let's go ahead and add the newest one right here today, or at least attempt to. I know that it's going to take a little bit of work on this account because obviously we don't have all those maxed out 5 and 6 stars that we do on the main account. But at the same time, you know, we can still put some work in, get ourselves the milestones here. Not going to grind for the champion on either account because, well, I ain't got that kind of time. I wish I did. Well, let me rephrase that. I don't wish anything anymore. We're going to get there. We're going to get to the point where we got the time to grind all the time. But we got some things that we got to do first. So while we work in there, we'll just go ahead and take the privilege to go ahead and get ourselves the champion the hard way. We will at least get the 3-star. That way, when he does hit crystals, we got a chance of duping him that way. And I think that's a great way to go ahead and build up the roster here. I mean, you guys can see already, just in a very short time period, we have done so much on this account already. This account is about 2 weeks shy, just shy of 2 weeks shy of being 2 months old. We started it in the middle of July. As a matter of fact, we started it July 16th, so September 16th will be our 2-month mark on the account. We already have 5 6-stars on here. We already have over 16 5-stars on here. The 4 stars are racking up. The 3 stars are racking up. The amazement it is to be able to add to these new accounts. You know, honestly, I mean, I don't think there's been a better time in history to start a new account. So, if you guys have friends, family that you've been thinking about trying to get into this game, yeah, Denzel, my 6 stars on here are just looking sweet as can be, to be truthful with you. I cannot believe the luck that we've had on this account, to be truthful with you. I mean, the 5-star luck, I mean, I think the luckiest night on the 5 stars that we've had yet was the night that we turned around and opened Infamous Iron Man and Kitty in the same opening. That was phenomenal. Then we turned around and obviously we got Ghost there, so great synergy there with Kitty. You know, picked up Colossus today with that 4-star, so we got even more synergies going there. 11 watching, 8 likes. Let's go, peeps. Thank you, guys. I appreciate the support overwhelmingly. Like I said, we can't spend a lot of time today, but I thought maybe we get in just a little bit of arena here, kind of get some grind going, get everything in place. Plus, on top of that, I got arena used on this account going right now, so why not pick up a few milestones live? And on top of that, too, if we could possibly pick up the 3-star Vox on stream today, even better. If not, we'll pick him up this week. You know, we're going to do some more lives this week. I know my boy Didi there has a huge live coming up today. And I mean huge. Not just in the fact that it's going to be a fun time, but in the fact that 12 hours straight of streaming. Going to be grinding his life away. Not that that's uncommon. But, guys, absolutely want to shout him out. Not only because it gave me the privilege of joining me for commentating my Chapter 2 of DLX last night. And we talked about how well it went, how badly I screwed up a few times, how insulted he was at the way I used a few champions. But then we turned around and opened the crystals. We had a great time last night. It was a lot of fun. Experimented on timing out people. So, which, guys, by the way, we don't do that very often on this channel. You know, unless you ask or unless you do something pretty extreme, we are not gonna. I try not to time out anybody ever. And how many revives were used? Okay, so we did the math on that last night. Actually, more appropriately, one of my followers happened to keep track during the stream last night, and we figured it out. It was, I think, 3 team revives, 25 level 1 revives, and 22 level 2 revives. So, less than 50 revives in total. I was pretty proud of that, to be honest with you. It was definitely a lot better than I expected when I did that run. So to turn around and, you know, see the final count on that, I was extremely happy. 3 of the likes, smash it, people. Thank you, JJ. Appreciate the support. So, like I said, guys, we just trying to get a few milestones in here, trying to pick up some extra shards, some extra units, so we can do some more grinding, so we can push some stuff. Shortbird and Blake Taylor stopping in. We just getting everybody in today, guys. Apparently, I just need to randomly go live to see everybody. But that's good, guys. I miss you guys so much. Taking some time away from streaming last week really was something that I hated to do. What do you think of the Iron Man buff? Okay, first off, I think the Iron Man buff itself looks good. I think he's got some really good potential. I'm always for them updating older champions and bringing that in. My only problem is when they've decided that instead of giving us 2 new champions, to only give us 1, especially on the month that they finally get around to giving us the Summoner Choice Champion that we waited on for months, way longer than any of us expected. But then the other thing that I think not only is insulting is this rank up deal that they put in the shop today. Yeah, I do think he's going to be worth ranking up. Cisco, nice to see you, man. Yes, happy Labor Day to everybody out there. For those in the United States that are celebrating Labor Day weekend, I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope you guys are doing some great things, enjoying some time off for those who are privileged enough to get it. By the way, that ain't me. I will 100% be going to work after we get done with stream today. I gotta find a way to keep these bills paid so that we can keep the channel growing and keep the lights on long enough to keep the power in the computer. Because I ain't got a generator to make sure that we can live stream without it. But I do think on top of that, not only shorten us a champion this month, after months of shorting us on reworks, because the original plan that Kabam announced when they started doing these reworks was 2 reworks a month and 2 new champions a month. That was basically 4 increases to your roster every month. And then we turn around and they give us 1 and 1. Not happy with that one. I think that was a bad move. But then to turn around and send out this bundle offer today to, oh, you've been sleeping on your Iron Man for years? Our content creators knew what was coming and they all leveled him up already? Well, that's not a problem. Could you go ahead and spend all your units right before Cyber Weekend to level up Iron Man? No. 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 Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. That's just, I think that was honestly the icing on the cake of this insult, to be truthful with you. That being said, I'm still probably gonna level up the champion. I just am not gonna buy their dang bundles to do it with. I do have Iron Man as a 6-star. I've got him as a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, whatever. But yeah, I think this rank up bundle, like, especially a rank up bundle that is limited to you can only use it on the champion that we reworked. Nah, don't think it's worth it at all. Kabam said Iron Man's damage was 5 out of 5. I guess we'll see. Has Kabam ever came out and been like, so we just released this champion and it's gonna suck for you. You should probably chase it. No, of course they're gonna tell us it's 5 out of 5. I spent all my units grinding for Vox. I couldn't even get the bundle if I wanted to. Yeah, Denzo, I know how that can go. So, I mean, we grinded for Vox too, but we only grinded for the 3-star. Ain't gotta use units to do that. As a matter of fact, we're gonna make some units doing it. So, hey Didi, if you still in chat, let me know how long before you are starting this legendary 12-hour stream. We got a lot to talk about on that after you get done. But obviously not right after you get done, because I'm guessing you're going to be worn out like no other, brother. Just remember, every couple hours, take a break, stretch, pet the kitty, pet the puppy, and then get back in there. I know somebody was talking about that last night. Oh, look, we achieved something. But I think he went for lower than what everybody was expecting, if I remember right. Mikey, how you doing, man? Yo, Wolf, just popping in quick because I'm going to do some incursions with G. No problem, man. Always love it when we're supporting one another in the community there. Thank you for stopping in and helping with things. And, you know, dropping that like and a little bit of support. Absolutely appreciate it, Mikey. You know, we got quite a few things going. And Love having you being part of the community, man. Is Iron Man good now? We were just talking about that. I think he is going to be good. From what I'm seeing from the videos and stuff, it looks like he's going to be just absolutely sick and worth having on your roster finally. For those of us who have had him on our roster for ever. Definitely, if you can build up those 12 stacks or more of armor, that then go ahead and eat them. It's the amount of damage that I saw in the announcement video. It's just absolutely lovely. So, if you've got him on your roster, it's finally time. People are saying Gladiator needs a buff already. I'm going to tell you this much. If Gladiator does not come out as an automatic God tier champion, they screwed up. I talked about this last night on live stream. Gladiator in the comics, for those who maybe have never read the comic, was the way they did one of the big Gladiator reveals in the comics at one point is there's a cover art where Juggernaut is just absolutely smashed. Completely and totally laid out, absolutely trashed, not moving, and there's a bunch of heroes standing around him going, how could this happen to Juggernaut? And that was the reveal of Gladiator. He's a champion that literally stopped the unstoppable. He was the royal guard for the Shi'ar Empire. He led an entire regiment, an entire group of superheroes. Gladiator in the comics is like one of the most powerful characters there is. So if he doesn't show up in game as something similar, I think Kabam not only had a huge miss by taking forever to get around to getting him out, but also on top of that had a huge miss on not doing justice to him. Not that there aren't several characters in the game that they forget to do justice to, that they seem to not have any concept of who they are in the comics, but it is what it is. I'm hoping that we see Gladiator in a better light than what they've done with some of the others. But, it's time will tell. They also promised us very much so that there would be that after a couple months of any champion being in the game, that they would be looked at to make sure that they are performing at the level that they should be performing at, and that either they would get nerfed or buffed based off of whichever one they felt needed to be done. But we'll see. Triple Z in the house. Sup, Wolf? Hope you're having a good day, brother. Lurking while cooking a feast. Taking that Labor Day off, are we, brother? Good to hear. I know you need a break and some time with the family from time to time. Glad you're getting it today. Like drop, though. Thank you. Amon, the power of 1,000 wet noodles. Amon, he went for 1.5 mil. I got 127 mil as my feast arena grind for him. I'm guessing first, but yeah, nice. Yeah, I was thinking it was 120 mil or 105 mil for a champion like Vox is actually fairly low, to be truthful with you. Yeah, I figured you meant first, brother. So I have a feeling those scores are going to jump this next round, because as soon as that's what always happens. Every time somebody figures out that he went for so much lower than what they expected him to, then everybody jumps in and starts trying to grind hardcore because they're like, oh yeah, we can all hit the 105 mil. Yeah, you can, but when that many people hit 105 mil, that means a bunch of other people are going to hit 120, 130, 150, 200. And before long, the champion is completely out of reach for those of us who don't have 17 hours a day to grind. I think KT destroyed his hype. See, that's one of the things I will tell you. I think that's one of the things that us YouTubers have to recognize. And I think really, obviously, I try and recognize it big time. I know DD's careful about some of the things he says. Trip is careful about what he says. Trip is also really good about dropping his link in the chat so that everybody can subscribe to him. Because we are going to get the man to 500 before December. Because he's got something big planned if we do. And I want to see it. And it's about time that man's over 500 subs. So make sure that you drop your link, Trip. But I saw it with Brian Grant for 4th of July. And now, KT with Vox, I've seen it a few other times where, Seaton's done it to a few different things. I think sometimes those of us who are content creators need to remember that we have influence over the community. And sometimes I understand you wanting to express your personal feelings. And I don't have a problem with that. I think it's absolutely something that should be done. No problem, Chip. I'm glad you caught the hint. But at the same time, I think it is one of those things that guys, content creators need to be careful. I know Brian killed 4th of July for a lot of us with his personal feelings. And I don't blame the man whatsoever. I understand how he felt. I understand exactly why he felt that way. I think he made a very articulate and clear argument, and it was a very justified argument of how ridiculous the increase in spending had gotten. It was definitely one of those things. I planned for spending for the channel for that opening. I definitely didn't plan $3,200 to spend for the channel, and there was no way we could do that whatsoever. But I do know there were people out there that were able to do it. But I do know at the same time, Brian brought out the pitchforks. Denzo, thank you for subbing to Triple Z. Absolutely appreciate it, man. He deserves it. YT, how's it going, man? Appreciate you stopping in and showing some support. That blue wrench looks absolutely beautiful next to your name. And again, I thank you for all you have done for the channel. And I thank you overwhelmingly for the fact that you were okay with me making you a mod. So, I can't thank you enough, man. And I'm going to do it every single time, so get over it. Damn, seeing my name on blue freaked me out. Yeah, man, I get it. I'm actually happy for KT's video. I didn't like what happened with Zemo, so I don't mind if a champion's hype is gone. Give me just 1 second. I'll finish reading that. That was a long one, Amon, but I definitely want to hear what you have to say. I just don't want Dragon Man wrecking me too much here. Can't let this robot overpower somebody with electricity. That ain't gonna happen. Done. I don't mind if a champion's hype is gone, along with summer sales. I think the community in large was not happy. He didn't say, yeah, no, I get it. I do understand. There was a lot of people that were not happy, um, and rightfully so. I understand how much it hurt the free to play community, the way they handled that. I do think sometimes champions get way too overhyped. I 100% agree with that. I think it's one of those things that we kind of have to be careful as content creators how much influence we take over the community and understand that we can kill things or hype things. Sometimes the hype is uncalled for, and that's not okay. Sometimes what gets killed is uncalled for, and that's not okay. It's so I think it's I think it's a mixed bag and a fine line that has to be watched. Trip says thank you to Denzo, and thank you to anybody else who jumps over and shows that man some love and drops a subscribe to his channel. Like I said, one way or another, we are going to get him to 500 before December. The man plays Santa Claus every year. You can't hate a man who does that much for his community to go out and spread love and joy. He does amazing things here on YouTube for us as well. He is one of the biggest hype men I've seen. He's always out there trying to promote everybody's channel, no matter if it's MCOC community or any other game or anything, period. He takes care of an amazing family, you know, other youngins in his community. There is so much that the man does. He deserves to be over 500 by now, and we are going to get him there one way or another. So everybody that can drop some support, I appreciate you so much for doing so. I mean, thank you guys for all the love and the support on my channel. Those that are able to go ahead and become members, things like that, absolutely appreciate it. But again, let's spread that love all over the community and all over the world. That's what makes things better. Did you see Mikey's PvP? Yes, profile picture. I saw that. It's gorgeous. A lot of people after KT's 7-star selector video chose Emma Frost. Even after watching MSD stream, choose Ant-Man. YouTuber influences a lot. Denzo, you should definitely check out my live stream from last night and see who I chose. I chose Emma Frost because I run recoils when I play MCOC, and she was the only choice as a result that didn't watch any 7-star selector videos. Carrion, nice to see you making it in, man. Appreciate it. It's not just overhype with Zemo. They displayed the champion would run a certain way in the CCP videos and the live streams for Kabam, but then completely removed the kit. Yeah, they screwed Zemo massively, and that was not okay. Trip, if you want me to tell your wife all the things I think are amazing about you, most women don't listen to me, but I'm more than willing to do it for you. And I know you are surrounded by plenty of women, so I'm sure you know how well that goes. But I really do mean it, man. You are great. I love having our friendship. I love collaborating with you. I'm so glad that, you know, all the things that we have been doing together and that we've got planned for the future. I appreciate you being part of the community overwhelmingly. Wolf is now Trip's wingman. I mean, so yeah, guys. I mean, it's definitely one of those things. I think we have one of the best communities on YouTube, and that's saying a lot because, you know, there are some amazing YouTubers out there, not just in the MCOC community. You know, I followed a lot of great people that did Pokemon Go for a long time when I was massively active in that game. Several others that I think have done a lot to expand the world and make things better. But I have played MCOC for over 7 years now, and no matter how bad my life has gotten, no matter what I've been through, no matter what struggles I've had, the community has always been there for me and stepped up big time. And I cannot tell you how much I love this community and how much I think it is one of the best communities. And that was before I started my channel. And once I started my channel, it just got even bigger. The amount of people who have worked with me and shown me support and love, the the fact that we are already well over 730 subscribers is just absolutely amazing. The amount of watch hours you guys have spent on my videos, it just doesn't stop, guys. I appreciate every bit of it, and I love the fact that I can expand this community more and more every day and do my part to make it better. And like I said, you guys hear Dee Dee and I talk all the time. Trip's a big somebody who's a big supporter, and I always am supporting him. Rizzo, Cataclysm. We've got so many huge things going on, guys, that I cannot wait to announce here on the channel. By the way, I've been sworn to secrecy, so I can't say too much. But it's amazing, guys. We have the best community out there, and I'm so glad that every one of you is part of it. And I'm so happy that you guys have shown me the love and support that you have. Oh my God, opened 6-man num 10 and got a Red Skull. A 6-star number 10 and got... Red Skull is great for defense, honestly. I know there's a lot of people that have learned to use him, but he can still be fairly useful. So that's not necessarily a loss there, man. Probably not who you were looking for, but definitely not as bad as you're reacting there, man. So don't get too disappointed. Plus, on top of that, like I was saying, part of the reason why we're over here trying to grab a 3-star box is because for every champion that we gets a shards for the next one when we dupe them. So that's always huge to have. We need a wingman. We all need a wingman for sure. I pushed hard for Dee Dee right after his Nan pass. Yeah. That man did quite a bit. He is a saint for what he went through. I wouldn't wish what he had to go through upon anybody. And somehow he stayed a bright, shining light through all of it. I've talked to him so much about a lot of that stuff. And it's absolutely, inspiring how far he has come and what he is doing to make his life as amazing as it is. And I'm so honored to be friends with the man and support him in every way, shape, or form. So I think we've got an amazing group of guys that we are putting together right now, that we've got so much stuff working together on. And, I said it last night when we kicked off the stream, 30, 50, 60 gold, silver play buttons, gold play buttons. You're going to see that from all of us, because we're going to take it together one way or another. We're going to become big time, and it's just going to keep going. I chose Ma because I prefer handsome champions. Now I need beautiful Mojo. Yeah, I mean, Mojo is kind of sexy there, Gabber. In some dimension at least. And definitely on Mojo World he thinks he is. I know the secret in which you are alluding. Yes, Trip, you know the secret well. I just have better tech 6 stars, especially defenders. I have Infamous Iron Man and Penny, so I wasn't desperate need of a defender, but I guess that makes it a bit better. No, I get it, Clarion. You know, it is one of those things. So it could be worse. You could have gotten Groot. I mean, yeah. I mean, as far as tech champions, you could have gotten Superior Iron Man. I that would have sucked a whole lot more. 157 6-star Black Widow. I actually opened Black Widow on this account as the latest 6-star. But when you're talking about the 157th, yeah, you're gonna get some that aren't God tier from time to time. Mostly because, I mean, they can't all be God tier. Though, sometimes I think the community thinks they should all be. Though, just remember, Natasha never runs out of ammunition. So, there is that. Funny you mentioned Superior Iron Man. Would have been a dupe. Oh, I mean, yeah, there's that. You know, shards and um, you know, plenty of ISO. So that would have definitely been nice with him. So I can see that. Um, but you know, it is what it is. As a matter of fact, it was funny. So last night we were on live stream. Like I said, guys, we did go ahead and show everybody how my DLX run went. I took 6-star Winter Soldier to rank 4. He's my favorite character in the movies. Okay, first off, not a bad choice. If you absolutely like the character, go with it. No matter if it's for personal reasons or if it's something in the game. Mikey is a big proponent for the idea that, you know, just because everybody else thinks the character sucks doesn't mean they suck. And I've seen some of the things he does with characters, and he proves that I don't care what everybody says. Sometimes a champion's better than what everybody else thinks. Loki was mine for a long time. That I proved that he was worth a lot more hype than what the community gave him. And for a long time, nobody would talk about that. But then there was a point that people started realizing that he could be used really well for the collector. And all of a sudden, Loki's ranking went up quite a bit. So, there is that. But, also on top of that, I would also advise that Winter Soldier can be absolutely great with the right synergy. As a matter of fact, Winter Soldier becomes a Star-Lord or Aegon type character if you put in the Killmonger synergy with him. So, definitely not a bad champion by any means, and worth the rank up if you're good with him. I know he gets a lot of flack because everybody beats up on him to test champions. But just because the AI doesn't use him properly and can't have a synergy with him doesn't mean he's not worth the rank up. So, I do think the character is absolutely wonderfully portrayed in the MCU, to be truthful with you. So I totally get how you feel about enjoying him in the movies and stuff. Sebastian, I can't think of his last name, but he great actor. I loved him in Civil War and the Falcon and Winter Soldier TV series. I think was absolutely worth a watch. Not that I don't love pretty much everything the MCU has done, to be truthful with you. I you know I think I've talked about this before too. I think DC does absolutely wonderful with their TV shows. Terrible with their movies. Wonderful with their animation. Terrible with their movies. On the other hand, Marvel does amazing things with their stuff. Period. They had a lot of duds in the 80s and the 70s, but ever since the 90s, Marvel has been killing it. TV, animation, you name it. They do great. And that is not just because I'm a Marvel nerd. I really honestly believe so. And I think they do great at casting. I think they're so much better at casting than anybody else. And anybody that wants to argue that with me, first off, let me draw you a picture. Let's start with Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. Okay? Not only does he portray him well, not only does he look like the character in real life, but his own real life troubles parallel Tony Stark so well. The only difference between Robert Downey Jr. and Tony Stark is the fact that Robert Downey Jr. doesn't have a suit of iron. Okay? Like, that's all. That's what I'm saying. Then you look at Patrick Stewart as Professor X. I mean, you couldn't find a better person to embody Professor X. Even though I was a little skeptical of it when I first heard the announcement, was actually kind of insulted by it. Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, like, I am so excited to get him back for another round as Wolverine, and despite the fact that there was talks that we'd never see him again. Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. They do so great at casting. I wish they'd give him a new champion like a movie one. That one I'll debate with you. Only because I think we get too overflooded with the same champions over and over, just a different reskin. My dad says nearly the same thing about DC is better for shows, but I'd rather watch Marvel movies. Yeah. The Arrowverse that they did on CW, absolutely, I loved it. I loved every bit of it. Arrow, Supergirl, Flash, all those shows. Watched seasons upon seasons of them. I thought they were done extremely well. Even if they did do some things that weren't necessarily comic book accurate. I think the Arrowverse was amazing. And I loved the fact of the way they did it. Eventually getting to Crisis on Infinite Earths. The whole 9 yards. So gorgeous. But yeah, they're movies. And the reason why their movies were so bad was not because of the fact that they didn't have the material. Not because of the fact that it couldn't be done right. It was the fact that they started late and they tried to catch up with the MCU in 5 movies when the MCU was 20 movies in. The guy that did The Punisher fits perfectly. I don't know what happened to the show. He just looks like Frank Castle. Are you talking about Jonathan Berthold, the guy that did from The Walking Dead, that did the Punisher series that was part of the Defenders Netflix series, or are you talking about the Punisher movies? Um, which, depending on which Punisher movies you're talking about, were good. The show was absolutely amazing. I think the Netflix series were done extremely well. The Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Daredevil, Punisher, Iron Fist. I know a lot of people had a lot of problems with Iron Fist, but at the same time, the Defenders series, I think, was absolutely wonderful, and I'm glad that they are slowly starting to tie some of that in, and cannot wait to see, where they go with that. Now that they have started tying it into the MCU finally, there were hints of it in the series, but they kind of acted like they were going to leave it out, and I think that would have been a shame. So I'm glad that they are definitely doing that. Not that I'm as harsh about the Affleck Daredevil as a lot of people were, but compared to the Charlie Cox Daredevil, it couldn't even come close. Yeah, the Netflix show, he played Punisher perfect. Yeah, he did. No, Jonathan Berthal did an amazing job. Um, I think he's a great actor. So great that Shane on The Walking Dead, who is the character that he played on there, didn't like the character. Not that I didn't like the character as I thought it was a wasted character. I just it was kind of like the Joffrey on Game of Thrones. You hated the character because you were supposed to hate the character. But then when he turned around and did Punisher, it showed the depth of his acting abilities overwhelmingly, and I really did. I think he's an amazing actor, and I think he did a great job on Punisher. I think he did great on Walking Dead. Cannot wait to see more of him in several things, but extremely happy to see when he puts back on that skull, to be truthful with you. I think it's going to be huge. Always torn when it comes to the Netflix series is whether or not, the Punisher series was wonderful. Uh, but I gotta say, out of the 6 series that were the Netflix part of things, I always get kind of torn between whether or not I think Daredevil or Luke Cage were the better series. But I think those two were probably one of those two were probably my favorite. Charlie Cox did, like I said, did an amazing job as Daredevil, and I cannot believe that I can't think of the gentleman's name that played Luke Cage, but again, another person that absolutely embodied the part 100%, and I think it was done really well. I loved all the tie-ins to Harlem, um, the way they implemented the music, the way they did the characters. Extremely happy that they, like I said, that they are starting to cross over parts of that into the MCU and getting everything tied in properly. Yeah, I watched Jessica Jones. I love Jessica Jones. It was a great series as well. Um, Ritter. I cannot think of her name, first name, but it's Ritter. It's the last name. She's an amazing actress, and did great. Valak, nice to see you, man. Her name won't come to mind, but the actor that played Carter was incredible. Loved her too. Um, oh my God, Haley Atwell. Haley Atwell played Agent Carter, I loved her in the Captain America movie, and I watched the Agent Carter series too, and she killed it on there. Question: how do I get Jessica Jones in game? I don't see her in any crystal. Jessica Jones is a trophy champion. The only time Jessica Jones has been available at any single time in this game is if you bought out every single deal during certain events. As a matter of fact, I believe the way I got her was the Gwenpool Bubble Bobble event. But yes, I do have her. But yes, she is amongst the trophy champions. Um, Trophy champions include Jessica Jones, Kang, Thanos, Wolverine, Weapon X. There's somebody else I'm forgetting. I hate that they did that with Jessica Jones. I remember using the free 2-star and loving the whole idea of the SP1. Yeah, I think they'll get to a point that a lot of the trophy champions, you know, uh, they've already kind of done it with Thanos and Kang. There's been some other opportunities to get them. I know there's been a couple opportunities to get Weapon X outside of just being um, a purchasable type of thing. But I think that will eventually happen with Jessica Jones as well. Guys, I apologize. Give me just 1 second. I just had a knock at the door. I got to figure out exactly what that was, but give me just 1 second. I will be right back. Yeah, no problem. If you can give me about half an hour, 45 minutes.
Half hour?
Yeah.
Sure, sure.
I'm actually in the middle of a live stream right now.
Oh, okay, okay, cool. I'll be
Yeah.
back at 1:53. So
Okay, yeah,
I'll be
not a
back.
problem.
All right, thanks, brother.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Okay. Sorry about that, guys. I absolutely apologize. Never know what's going to happen. Platinum Pool is another one that is a trophy champion. That one's a little bit easier to get, but it is also Platinum Pool, Gold Pool. Those ones. I mean, there are crystals that you can get them from, but 100% are those ones that it's very specific. The crystals that you have to get them out of. Uh, yeah, I really wanted at least a 4-star to play with. Yeah. The nice thing is with some of these ones that 2 stars. Um, that's part of the reason I always love when they bring out those 2-star arenas that you can get the 5 and 6-star champions out of, like they did last month. Because it is always so much fun to get to use those champions that you don't get to use as much. I bet the next trophy champion is Lockjaw. That would be killer, but I don't think they'll ever do that, to be truthful with you. Just because of the fact that I just don't know how a huge dog that teleports would be done in the game, to be truthful with you. I'd be happy with it. You know, it's one of those things that, like, Professor X was one that I was always wondering how they would do. And I'm not sure that I like the way they did him, to be truthful with you. I kind of would like to see him in the chair. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But definitely one that I the skull cap and everything, like, was not what I was looking for. But I'm a bit old school on some of that stuff. So, but it's always a bit interesting on how some of that stuff's going to work. Sorry, I just got a message I needed to check, guys. When we slow down. By the way, YT, I just looked again and saw that can't stay because you look on YouTube right now. Yeah, Gerald, have fun. Not a problem. Thank you. Enjoy your stream. I love the Cerebro as much as the next guy, but always thought his portrayal was bizarre. Yeah, I agree. I used Jessica Jones to beat Hulk and Jugs in the DLX challenge. She was awesome. That's, yeah. I mean, I've seen some great gameplay with her in Battlegrounds. She can get really sick. For those of us who actually have her, I'm surprised there's no Mystique in the game. Yeah, there's a lot of people that have been calling for Mystique for a long time, guys, and rightfully so. I think it's a champion that I know that it's partially they've been trying to figure out how to portray her properly in the game because, you know, obviously she, you know, her morphine abilities. But I think it's long past time that we get her. And I think I think it really wouldn't be as hard as they try and portray her as being available to do. There's a couple of champions that I understand would not be easy to do. But I think Mystique is not as difficult as they're trying to make her. I mean, you either have her as... There's a couple ways you could do it. She either automatically becomes the champion you're facing, which would be interesting. Or she has a set amount of champions that she changes into, and depending on, you know, how you trigger abilities would depend on who she changes into. I think there's a couple different ways they could do her. Yes, I'd love Mystique. I just imagine playstyle would revolve around mimicking the Defender. Yeah, that's exactly what I expect. Yeah, she's an extremely popular mutant. She's always been an extremely popular character, and one that I think is long overdue. You you know, we've had some fairly obscure champions come into the contest as opposed to actually getting some of the bigger ones. I'd love to see Arrow, Wave, Devil Dinosaur, Moon Girl. Nice. Devil Dinosaur and Moon Girl would be fun. I think, you know, especially with the fact that we, you know, Kitty and Lockheed are together. Doing Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur together would be very possible as well. Yeah. Have you guys watched the Moon Girl cartoon? I haven't made it all the way through it yet, but definitely a series that I've enjoyed. Another one of those obscure champions. Um, Another show that I actually loved, if you guys haven't checked it out, they only did a couple Marvel shows on Hulu, but one of the ones that I loved was Runaways. I think that one was an absolute hit, and was really done well. Cloak and Dagger was also really good. I'd love to rep of the Pet Avengers in general, Lockjaw, Cosmo, Devil Dinosaur, etc. Yeah, I mean, the closest that we've gotten has been Spider-Ham so far. Not that he's a pet Avenger by any means, but, you know, he's the only animal, for lack of a better way of putting it, that we've gotten so far. So I do think that he is definitely one that, first off, he's a great champion. You know, Cosmo has gotten pretty big in the Guardian series, so that, you know, that could be something that could get tied in. I mean, obviously we have Rocket as well as far as animals, but yeah, I mean, it could be interesting if they did a few different things like that. Even if they were, you know, that actually thinking about it, a good way they could do the Pet Avengers would be Strikers. If they took characters like Cosmo and Devil Dinosaur and champions like that and made them into Strikers, where, you know, relics, where we could summon them, it'd be really kind of cool. I think that'd be a great way of doing it. So, just a thought. I don't know. What do you guys think? Nico would be cool to see as a champ. I'm not familiar with Nico off the top of my head, to be truthful with you. I reckon Cosmo would be doable. His animations would be similar to Rocket, if I had to guess. Rocket, or even, you know, like a Professor X, because Cosmo, of course, is a telepath. Well, telekinetic, more appropriately. I reckon we'll get Moon Girl in the near future, and our Dinosaur will play a similar role as Moleman's thing, or Lockheed, where he's only an Yeah, I could see that. If we ever get Moon Girl, I could see that being the way that we get her. The way we get Devil Dinosaur. Speaking of Moleman, we have Tiny Jr. here. Shout out to my boy Tiny. But for those who are not aware, the creature that Mole Man rides here is Tiny Jr. So, you know what would be nice would be never happen a DC crossover with the MCOC. Yeah, the licensing on that would be just absolutely a nightmare for them. Um, I know MCOC, I know there's been a crossover between Marvel and DC at least every few years. There's been the amalgamation characters, not to mention, just crossover universes, things like that. But I just don't see them doing a crossover at any point. Even with Injustice being, similar to um, MCOC in itself, I just I don't see Warner Brothers and Disney working together that well, and that would be the huge problem. I mean, that's why we have such a problem with Disney and Sony working together, and why we've had such a struggle with getting all the Marvel characters into the Marvel universe. Um, if it hadn't been for Fox's collapse, we would still be struggling to even get the Mutants and Fantastic Four in. Now that they are finally starting to come into the MCU, which is long overdue. Probably one of the worst things that Marvel ever did was not recognizing the potential they had in a cinematic universe and selling off the rights to their characters to multiple different companies. And now they are fighting to get those characters back. And I'm glad that we are getting what we are getting, but at the same time, it's definitely, DC doesn't cross over as often as Marvel does, but the Marvel comics has always been so intertwined. There you would see different panels in the comics where even if a character wasn't necessarily in that particular comic, you might just see a glimpse of that character on the street as like Spider-Man would swing past, or Iron Man would fly through, something like that. And that's because most of them operated out in New York City. You should see them all the time. Just because Spider-Man is chasing his villain doesn't mean that Iron Man isn't chasing his. And so it's definitely one of the things that I'm glad that we're starting to get an expansion, and that the MCU is continuing to start getting characters that we for a long time weren't sure we were ever going to get. But it was definitely something that was hard to see in the beginnings. So much separation of the characters. And not to mention, on top of that, things like Fantastic or whatever you want to call it, the crappy ass Fantastic Four movie that they made just so that Fox didn't have to give up the licensing to them. That's where bad things happened. But it is nice to see, in spite the fact of, it took a movie studio fully collapsing to get most of the rights back. I really wish Sony would let go of the Spider-Verse. It would finally complete everything now that Miramax is let go of, is not a problem anymore. Now that Fox is not a problem anymore, Sony is really the only thing keeping us from having the entire MCU together. Also, where is Sharon Carter already? I think there might come a time, especially after What If Season 2, that we might see her. The Kang fight in the game is really good design. The 3 different Kang fights? So, Well, guys, it looks like we have made it through all of the 4, 5, and 6-star roster for the little account, and that gave me most of the milestones that we were going after. It did get us part of the way to getting that 3-star Vox, which we will touch base on and get very soon. But that being said, that is pretty much the amount of time that I had available for today. John, nice to see you. Appreciate you stopping in. How's it going, man? Like I said, guys, I hate to do it. I did only have a limited amount of time today that I could really hang out, but I did want to spend some time hanging out with everybody. And I wanted a chance to get a little bit of time with everybody and, you know, get back to streaming again, because it is what I enjoy doing. And, you know, we will have a video coming out today, so stay tuned for that. But that being said, like I said, I'm always a big proponent for helping out the other members of our community. It's going good so far. So I would love it if you guys could help me support one of my favorite people and one of my closest friends these days, Dee Dee, and go over and vote on how many bathroom breaks he is going to take today during a 12-hour stream. And let's just go ahead and make sure that he knows that we are all coming in with the love from this stream with a hashtag Wolfpack Raid. So, guys, if you could jump over, smash that like button for DD for me, and say hi to him. Tell him that I sent you over, and I will see you guys very soon for the next one. I should be streaming again tomorrow. And then well, like I said, we'll have a video later this afternoon. So look forward to that. And I look forward to talking to everybody very soon. Love you guys. Appreciate all the support. See you very soon. Peace out.